Good evening, viewers. Hope all of you are doing truly well, as I always keep asking you. Today, we are here with an absolutely special guest on the success stories of beauty, brains, and bravery. But a quick information about our Truwellth online health channel. As you know, Truwellth provides integrative health and personalized nutrition advice to control, prevent, and reverse lifestyle and autoimmune as well as infectious diseases like digestive diseases, diabetes, PCOS, infertility, arthritis, osteoporosis, and so many more ailments like that, including cancer and also improving recovery from surgery, infections, trauma, and of course, growth in children to help us reach the ultimate goal of holistic health and happiness. The Truwellth online health channel is really an initiative of Truwellth Integrated Healthcare in actually sharing the authentic knowledge and wisdom from healthcare and nutrition stalwarts to help you separate science from hype arising from the social media explosion and the sudden nutrition wisdom and aid you in making the right health and nutrition choices. However, on this channel, we do run a lot of Beauty with Brains and Bravery success stories, as this is something very, very close to our heart, as we also run a lot of women health programs, including our clinics, and empowering women and enriching their lives is really a goal we are looking at. So when we say beauty with brains and bravery, need we really say more? uh, then why would we want to do these kind of programs? Is because our purpose is, like I said, to encourage, enrich, and help empower women to aspire and excel professionally and personally. The mission really, Beauty with Brains and Bravery, conceives and is taking forward is to build a network of world's most sought after women professionals so they could share their knowledge, skills, experiences, opportunities, resources, dreams, aspirations, as well as their challenges, fears, shortcomings, requirements as they pursue a common goal of leading richer, more fulfilling lives. The Beauty with Brains and Bravery Life programs is an initiative in this direction by celebrating the success of women professionals from the world to stir the ecosystem so we have more and more Saraswatis, Lakshmis, and Nirbhayas in the world and in our neighborhood. And imagine if that happens, then how much more better knowledge, intelligence, prosperity, and of course, a fearless, safe environment can be created for women. That's really our mission. And on this mission today, we really have a very, very special guest. And I'm very happy to welcome her on the show. But I want to give her introduction. She is just 20 years old. And when you talk to her, you'll realize she's Miss India Australia 2020, Shrutika Mani. And to give you a little bit of an introduction about her is going to be very difficult because there is nothing little bit. But before that, I really welcome Shrutika Mane to come online, and then I would like to introduce her. Shrutika, it's such a pleasure to see you here, and especially for Beauty, Brains, and Bravery, this is really a special day. And I'm going to tell you why it is. And of course, we are going to have more members joining in into the panel, and we will realize how much more work all of you are really doing and for women, and you are already doing that at such a young age. So it's really proud to have you here. For people to know about Shrutika Mane, of course, first and foremost, she is Miss India Australia, but along with it, she has so many more awards she has actually gotten. She has been selected as the TEDx talk at the TEDx talk in collaboration with her university. She also has a Global IQ Connect certificate, All India National Debate winner, of course. She has done a lot of other things, like she's been ninth on the Stock Exchange Australian Business Week. She's modeled the United Nations Best Speaker, and so many more awards. And I'm sure we're going to learn about them from her itself. Another thing she has, of course, been excellent at school, and she belongs to one of these coveted schools in India, that is the Singhania School. She has been a vice captain there. Currently, she is, of course, pursuing her Bachelor's of Health and Medical Sciences in advanced course in Australia, and that's such a great thing to know about her. So you can see how multifaceted she is, and along with that, she of course has great dancing skills. She's already also running a dancing school, and she has a lot of interest in acting. She's also worked as an news anchor. So, how much more am I going to keep telling you? But let's converse on that with her on this right away. Shrutika, how do you feel being here with us today?
Thank you so much for that lovely introduction, Rajashree Auntie. It was lovely listening to that. I think it's a lovely recap of all the things that I've been doing in the past few years. I feel absolutely amazing being here. I understand the reach that Truwellth has. It's such an honor and such a lovely, gesture from your side to have me on the show. So thank you so much. I'm feeling amazing today.
Well, I was wondering where to start with. I mean, of course, we are very proud that you are Miss India Australia, but even myself, I think you've already crossed those winning spots when you were the vice captain in with our school. So I don't know which is a more prouder thing for us, but I'm super excited to do this show with you. And you're actually the youngest and the most successful multifaceted beauty with brains and bravery I think we have had on our show. So that's really a pleasure. But I want you to sort of enlighten women out there, and of course, I'm sure there'll be a lot of young women listening to you, because I keep doing a lot of work encouraging the older ones, but for the younger ones, I mean, can you share sort of, you were born in UK, and then you moved, then you came back, like you were here in Mumbai, and then you moved to Australia. But your upbringing, if you can really tell us, where does this success story start? Does it really start from having such incredible parents, and the value, education, and emotions that they sort of teach us about?
Absolutely. Um, I know you've acclaimed it to be a success story, and I know we've spoken about this before. Um, I don't know if I would say that yet. I do believe there's a long, long way before I sleep. A long way to go. So I don't know if I consider it a success story. But like you rightly said, I was born in the UK. I moved to India when I was 6. I moved to Australia when I was 15 with my mum and younger brother. So I think moving around and seeing different people from different cultures, from different backgrounds, it made me have a good understanding of people. And at the same time, my father wanted us to move from the UK to India to ensure that I'm
Okay.
brought up in our Indian culture. And, I don't think I would have been the person that I am today if I hadn't spent those years growing up in India. So I think that's had a huge impact on the way that I am, or the way that I speak today, or the way that I perceive situations. Being able to hold my roots very close to my heart, and being able to respect and understand that everyone has a story behind them is extremely important. And I think that understanding of people, and that desire to want to know people, and that desire to want to connect and do something for society, has been very strong. And you could owe that to my parents. I think I do owe that heavily to my parents. Growing up, I have seen them do so much for society. If you put them into a box, they are doctors. And ideally their job is to, they have surgery, patients in and
Yes.
out. They don't have to go outside of that box. They don't,
Yes.
if they want, they can continue to be consultants, and that's it. But it was their choice, and I was brought up in a household where I was taught to not only take but to give back. So those values stay very strong in me, and I take them forward with me every day.
Well, yeah, you rightly said it, because I think that's very, very important, I guess, for us as parents to understand. That how much ever we do the giving part of it, that's how much the kids are really going to imbibe. And I absolutely understand what you're trying to say when globetrotted, people think that when you've globetrotted, they have this wow factor about it. But we all really know how much it really grounds us as a person, and how much more modest we become, just as you are. Even after the success, you know that there is so much more and so many more milestones that you really have to achieve in life. And of course, you have the opportunity now at your hand. So now the responsibility becomes even bigger, I guess. So I want to bring this back to somewhere, trying to connect the dots, because being a vice captain with a school like ours, I'm so proud
Yes.
that we both went to the same school.
Yes.
I can't tell you how it is for all we Solonians. Anyone comes up, once Solonian, we're always a Solonian, right? So
Absolutely.
for having said that, being a vice captain is not at all easy. So, did the leadership skills, the influencing your teams and influencing your house members, did it really start there? And also, I would like to know what sort of attributes are needed for that. And while you were a vice captain, did you learn a lot of things which sort of are really have also made a difference in your life?
Mm-hmm. Like you rightly said, once a Solonian, always a Solonian. And Singhania has that culture of you feel so proud and you have that sense of such a strong sense of belonging to
Yeah,
the school. Even though it's been almost 5, 6 years since I've left India, Singhania is such a huge part of my life. And I taught that journey in that school taught me so much. The concept of vice captaincy at the time was huge. When I remember when I was in year 9, year 8, the idea of who's becoming vice captain, and there was two, the girl and the boy, and the Senate, and we have that, student representative council, Senate, that is called, and we have the swearing in ceremony and
yeah,
investiture. So at the time, it felt huge. Vice captain, I do believe it was an eye opener. Now that you're saying that to me, I'm thinking back to the day that
yeah,
it was announced on the PA system. And I remember I was sitting in class early morning, and it was announced on the PA system, and I couldn't believe it. I think that was a turning point for me slightly, because at that point in time I felt I went from a girl who is just going through school, making friends, having fun, yes, want to do something more but not sure if I'm capable of it, to actually being given that responsibility and being trusted with that. So that trust in my teachers, for me, was huge at the time. At the same time, I had done Rajya Puraskar, Girl Guide. So I had that had happened. I was doing the
yep,
TV show for ZQ. So a lot of things were happening at the same time. I really do think that was a turning point. But I think those aspects of leadership, of wanting to work in a team, when you're in school, it's very competitive. So there are other girls also that were, aiming for the same position. But I think those were beautiful times. Now that we look back at it, it obviously doesn't feel like the end of the world anymore. But it taught us so much. It taught us. It wasn't just, even though I was vice captain, my friend Ayush with me was vice captain for boys, and we shared a
yep,
lovely dynamic. We went on for Frank Anthony that year. I think those concepts of leadership, of friendship, of taking people with you is what that taught me. It wasn't just me in the spotlight as vice captain and that's it. For me, it was me representing all my friends and that entire batch that graduated from year 10, year 12 later. For me, we share that experience. Today, when I speak to my friends, they remember me as vice captain from school, but we remember all the days that we've been through, sports day, annual day. Um, those were lovely times. And I think it taught me that leadership is not just about the one person at the top. It really
yep.
is about taking everyone with you. If I didn't have those people behind me, those times that I've shared with my friends at school, that leadership wouldn't have meant anything to me. And I don't think I would have been as I don't know if I may say successful at being in that position, if it wasn't for the people and the teachers that really put their faith in me. So I'm just holding my people together even today.
Sure. So I want to share a few pictures from that, so it gives us all a better feel at it. But I can identify that with that, because when we grew up with the school as well. Now that we are at this stage in life, still can associate with those days. And the way the school has brought us up also along with our parents, it just instills a different level of confidence, a different level of teamwork, also trying to do different things, not just studies, but extracurriculars. Today it's become a norm with every school, but for us, we were long years back, Shrutika, probably a full generation behind. So those were the times. The school has really instilled a lot in us. So that's the reason why I did ask those questions, and I want to share this. Getting the medals, and of course, you won the All India debate contest, and apart from that, from there, then from moving from there, from the school in India, then moving for higher studies. So it must have been a journey. But before we really go to that, to your college days, and as well as you also worked on different platforms. Really, from being that captain to then now, getting this huge big title, how did that journey really happen in your case? I mean, being vice captain at school, and it was not too long ago, right? So from there to now actually becoming the Miss India Australia. I mean, it's wow after wow. I mean, we really want to know, and I'm sure people who are watching out there would want to know, how did that really happen? I mean, was it that you were already planning for it, or was it that an opportunity came your way?
To be honest, I think the idea of when I was in Mumbai, when I was living there growing up, I followed Bollywood heavily. You watch
Oh,
the movies or Filmfare, IFA, the beauty pageants, the Femina Miss India. I had grown up watching that, and I had absolutely enjoyed. I used to take a special keen interest in Bollywood. So those ideas of at the time, I think it was hugely based off the glamour. I don't think when I was younger I thought of it very seriously as a career. It was very attractive, the glamour and all of that. It felt very attractive. And all of us little girls used to think, oh, one day, that would be such a lovely dream for us, for any of us to come true, to be there. But
right.
obviously, that profession demands a certain kind of hard work, commitment to the art and craft of being an actor. Obviously, over the years, when I went into training, I don't know. I think the journey sort of transpired in ways that I didn't command it. I honestly never planned it out that this is how it would be. It was somewhere at the back of my mind, and it showed in the choices I was making. So, when you really want something to happen for you, I think you're carving your way to it in a certain manner that I didn't even consciously, I wasn't aware of. Obviously, you go to school, you go to uni, you study, you and I truly study health and medical sciences out of a passion. It's not just something that I keep on the side. I love that subject, and I'm so close to that subject that I cannot leave that health aspect of me. I went to school, I studied chemistry, biology, double maths, literature. So academics is a huge part of my life. I don't think I can leave the academics in me. But the bug of wanting to be out there, which is what Singhania did for me, right? It gave
Yeah.
me that confidence to be on a platform and to own that platform and to be able to speak to thousands of people from a platform and shift something. When I realized that one person can have the energy to shift something in society and one person can really make a difference, when I started realizing that, I thought this is a huge responsibility, but I'm ready for it. There was
Right.
something in me that was yelling that you're ready for it. I think if you were given the responsibility to speak to people and to make sure that someone else also chases their dreams, I think I would be able to handle it with care. And when I had that responsibility and that understanding of that, things just transpired into one after the other. I enrolled into acting school in Sydney. I was doing something online. I was doing workshops online. I was going to public speaking. I was again elected as vice captain at the second school that I was in Australia for year
Wow.
11.
Wow.
Um, so I think uh, when you realize who you are and your strengths and your weaknesses and exactly what makes you happy, you automatically, that energy does transform. I don't think it takes more than recognition. I had huge recognition, and I think again that goes to my parents and teachers and the people around you, the five people that were around me, my family, my friends, my teachers.
Right.
Um, because of them I realized who I was. And when I realized exactly what made me happy, I could never let go of it. So I think acting happened that way. A certain energy of wanting to be on screen was very strong in me. So I think all of that sort of transpired, and when the opportunity of Miss India Australia came knocking, I think we were talking to a family friend,
Yeah.
and they said there's Miss India Australia. It's he Raj Suri again, who we'll come to. He's not someone who's looking for tall, fair, and beautiful. He's looking for someone who will make a difference, who will go and inspire another young Indian girl to chase her dreams. Um, so that made I think we our values matched, and those values matched, and that's why Miss India Australia happened for me. Is that we had the same value set, and that was very important to me.
That's really awesome to know, and I for anyone to understand how this really happened, and like you said, it's not just the beauty aspect of it, but which I always love is the beauty with brains and bravery combination. And it's not that it's not the beauty. Of course, it's an amalgamation of all three, and beauty is really how we look at it, isn't it? And through this journey, I've heard from you that you're fortunate enough to also meet with Mr. Raj Suri, and who really believed in this fact also. So, would you like to also share, how he encouraged you through this path of success, actually?
I think Raj has obviously become a very huge part of my life. He's my mentor now.
Yeah.
When I first spoke to him, I remember it was when I had sent in my application, and I spoke to him over the phone for quite a long time. And I realized that this man, he's really trying to shift something. When you speak to him, you realize that he's really trying to empower Indian women in Australia to realize that
Right.
even though you're not in India, the fact that you're born and brought up here doesn't mean you're any less Indian, or doesn't mean that the culture or the roots in you are any less true than it would be if you were in India. So he's really trying to bring it home for those women. And I think he's really trying to give them a platform where those women can shine and grow and go on to do things that people would do from platforms that are in India. There's such a huge community of Indians that reside outside of India, and
Right.
I don't think that it's fair that they don't get the opportunity to be able to represent India as proudly as I would from India. You know,
Yeah.
they have imbibed our culture. They are Indian at their core. They respect and love our heritage and history. And this platform so rightly gives them that opportunity to be able to embrace that culture and to be able to proudly represent it. So why not, And I think that's Raj for you, in short. He's very proud of his Indian culture, and he brings it out in the women across Australia and across the globe. He's trotted everywhere as well. We've all been around, so I think when I realized that that's all he's about, I connected with him instantly. There was a connection with Raj that brown skin. He finds it's beautiful. We've for so long been conditioned to believe that fair is beautiful, and for
Yeah.
so long we've thought fair, tall, and skinny means she must be model material. We've had these ideas for so long, and I do believe they somewhere still exist. When you say someone's a Miss India Australia, you would imagine a tall, fair girl coming out of the doors. It's not that. I think our idea of beauty needs to shift, and he's a pioneer in one of those. So that's Raj for you. If it's not for him, I don't think women like me would have these platforms. So yeah, I think he's done an amazing job.
That's absolutely great to know, and I'm glad there are people like him, and more and more of this beauty with brains combination is being taken forward, and the definition of beauty, of course, is not just restricted to fair and colored eyes and being slim and etc. But having said that, and I want to bring this up a little bit with you, because no matter how much we say that, and no matter how many actresses have also shown it off, that it's not really about being fair. One of the few examples is Vidya Balan. I still remember that there were times in the Bollywood industry where every year there was no actress who actually got Filmfare awards, for example, or all those coveted awards really. every, like, consecutively for years. And for quite some time there was no actress like that. And she came, and 4 years she just ruled the whole thing. And you look at her, she is everything that you want, but she isn't the tall, slim. She doesn't fit the typical, and the roles she has done, they're completely offbeat. So even though the fact now, we have women like you at such a young age. I mean, you have so much of understanding of this, from the bottom of your heart, from your soul, from your mind. You're so much into it, and you're bringing this up. I'm sure we need more level of efforts on these lines, because our societies are still, somewhere, maybe, still stuck there, with the definition of beauty, I guess. I don't know if you want to add something on that, but else I want to actually showcase more photographs of yours.
No, absolutely, go for it.
Sure. So again, these are the not the only beauty aspect of it, but this is again some which I was trying to share from the school. Then, of course, your days in Australia, and some of the school. Uh, I can recognize some of these teachers. So she's of course the
Madhumita
principal.
ma'am, Shirley
This is
ma'am, Revati
Madhusmita ma'am, right?
Madhusmita ma'am, yes, that's right.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
And I was
Yeah.
telling him, Shirley ma'am, we have Shirley ma'am.
Yes, I can remember her too. So all great teachers, of course, and they still are there in school. They teach my daughter, so I know them, and such amazing women. I'm sure they have also influenced you in all their ways, and that can be. And then, of course, this, where you've worked at such a young age, and you already had those eloquent skills of being going out there and speaking very boldly and making your point. And then, of course, the other one is your dance. So I think, would you like to say, I mean, we would like to know more about dance, because I think this came very early to you. And I'm sharing this photograph. Do you want to tell us who's there in the photograph?
Of course, in the photograph, in the yellow ghagra, it's my Guruma, Srimati Sarita Kaleleji. She is in Mumbai. I've been learning Kathak from her for the past 12 years, I believe. So yes, Kathak did come to me when I was very young. My mum found a leaflet in the newspaper that said, Sarita Kalele takes Kathak classes, and she was very close to us. So we went and met her in her house at the time. She had just moved back from the UK. So that's how my parents and her, they got along, because they shared that journey in the UK together. She had achieved huge milestones in the UK as well, and she'd just come back, and she said, this is my home. Kathak is This is where I got Kathak, this is where I want to be, and this is where I want to grow in Kathak. So she came back from the UK as well, and we shared that journey in common of coming back to your roots. So she's been someone extremely special to me. My mom, of course, is my other role model, for my female role model. But my guru ma equally has inspired me to really chase her dreams. She unabashedly has followed Kathak for so many years. Her guru ma, Srimati Uma Dograji, has also given that love to her, which she passes on to us. So I'm extremely fortunate to be part of such a long-standing heritage of Kathak. Um, Kathak really taught me something else. I think I remember mom used to pick me up from Kathak, and I used to go back and say, "This is like meditation, mom. I feel so
Yeah.
calm. I
Yeah.
feel so at peace, centered." And it's because I truly connected with me somewhere. Kathak used to calm me down. I still have my gungrus over here, and of course, I still learn from her over video call. So when I moved to Australia when I was 15, even before COVID, we were doing video calls, and I was learning from her, because that guru shishya relationship that you form, it can never be broken or let go of. For me, I couldn't. Whether I'm here or somewhere else, she is always going to be my guruma. So for me, I I don't know if it's stubborn, but I would never want to learn from anyone else. She is it for me. So that's my guruma. She was my guruma, Sarita ji. And I'll always continue to learn from her.
Perfect. And then we also hear that, you're of course taking that tradition forward also. But I think we will talk about that a little bit later in the show. But before that, I would of course want to really move on to another aspect, like you mentioned, parents, of course, and you did mention your father, of course, and we have him here on the show, and I would definitely want him to be brought in, and I'm going to try to get him in the on the panel as well. So. While I do that, I'm in fact going to ask you that, your father's so proud of your achievements, and when I spoke to him the first time, I could realize, the that how much proud really he was. He does a lot of work for empowering, doctors and women, like you rightly said. He need not be only just a he doesn't have to do all this out of the box, but apart from doing his own practice, and he has done a lot of things first time, and there again, he's here with us on the screen, but I'm going to quickly try to share a little bit about his Origin Foundation, which, such an accomplished personality again, whom, of course, I would want to just put one slide out, and how much he's done. You can really see all his achievements put onto one of these slides. And Dr. Mane, I've stolen this from some of your networks to have it here. So you've been such a influential person, and your daughter has absolutely done you so much proud. So how do you first of all feel being here, and of course about the achievements of your daughter? You'll have to unmute yourself.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Sorry, thank you. I was saying thank you, Rajashree, for that. You took that picture and it actually summarizes everything. It's another journey that I have been through as a doctor. These were things important at some stage, but comes a stage in life where obviously, these things become a little less important, and you start thinking about what is your life about and what more should you be doing. And I'm sure each of us will have this question some stage in life, because we know this is not permanent. We realize that the physical form of ours is always, now this is a bit of a spirituality angle for you. I'm a doctor of modern medicine, but spirituality has recently influenced me in a very big way. And fortunately, Shrutika, I can talk this language with her. you know
Yeah.
uh, Young girls at 20 might not find it easy really, but she has that receptivity, which is probably one of her big strengths, which she may not realize, that if a teacher is telling her something, or if some friends are doing something out of which something good for her, or if a father or mother is trying to tell her something, then she is able to listen and pick it up. Not always she would agree with you. She's got a strong mind. Sometimes she would not accept it, and that's fine. I mean, that's a
Yeah.
quality.
Right.
So, as far as her success is concerned, the first thing when she told me about this title, she knows that I'm not for such things. So, she was, I think, curiously wondering what my reaction would be. And my first statement to her was, "This is good, no doubt, but the feet have to be on the ground." That was my first statement to her, because you're very young and you've got such a wonderful life ahead, a useful life for yourself and for all the people. So much are you going to be able to do for people. I can only just imagine and wonder, my God, what potential she's got. And this is what our job is, only to give a direction to the flow of energy, which is a energetic bubble, as you've seen. And that's been my role really all the way, to kind of, from the Singhania school, from the captaincy you've been discussing. Her topic was
Okay. Looks like his connection is gone.
He's left you at suspense.
Yes.
I remember what the topic
Well,
was.
meanwhile that he logs back in,
Right.
what we'll do is, I would like to, of course, understand a little bit more, of course, the influence that he has had on you,
Absolutely.
and the special bond, of course, that the father and daughter is known to be a important, so if you want to talk about it while he logs back in.
I remember, I know what he's talking about. He was talking about um, vice captaincy. I think that would relate back to my relationship with him very well. I'll tell you just
Absolutely.
very quickly. The
Yes,
topic
go
was
ahead.
raising good citizens.
Yeah.
And we had worked on that together. So I know we're trying to gather the father-daughter relationship that we shared. At the time, I used to go to the hospital. He had a conference room, he had a mic set up, and I used to be there after school trying to rehearse my speeches. So if you say, where did public speaking come from? Of course, my
Okay.
mom has done a lot of public speaking, but dad and I have also gone through that entire process of being in that conference room at Origin. He's at the hospital right now, so the conference room isn't very far from where he's sitting. I used to stand there at the podium with the mic, and that practice, changed a lot for me. So our relationship has been a lot about public speaking, if that's what you're trying to know.
Yeah, of course. And Dr. Mane, you were saying something, and of course we froze, but we would like to hear that line of thought, of course.
Um, I worry about that, honestly, when I start talking spirituality. Now, that's not a language which a lot of people would like, but honestly, I have moved in that direction where I realize mindfulness, which is such a strong concept. And as ladies, as you talk about women empowerment, and as Shrutika is
Yes.
in that role, I honestly believe it is all in the mind. And not that there are no oppressions or there are no suppressions in the society. There is a lot of oppression and suppression, I totally accept, but the power is within, and that power within needs to be tapped. And unfortunately, just going after physics, chemistry, biology, and materialistic world and success, as we discuss, is not the way to tap that power. The power can be tapped only by getting a control of the mind and emotions, which unfortunately drain away a lot of our energy, which do not allow the innate goodness within a human being to fire, which in a way I can see Shrutika is able to fire that. And like you say, she is able to talk that language. So I think this is the secret I can see where she is going to benefit by that, because her mind and emotions, if she can keep under control, then, and that is applicable to everyone really,
Yes. Yes.
honestly. And that is the future I can see for humanity to survive. I'm sorry, I'm being very harsh here. For humanity to survive, we all would need to become mindful. We would need to get our thoughts and emotions under control. And meditation, a gift to the society given by Indian ancient past, has been lost. And we are in the process of reviving that at Origin Foundation. We do that meditation here in the hospital
I'm
also.
I'm going to interject you, and I don't want you to be sorry at all, because
No, no,
this is an aspect which is very interesting that you bring up here, because how many of the how many of the beauty pageants and contests and these kind of activities really look at this. How much huge a change can the maturity in thinking, the depth in your knowledge, and of course the spirituality bundled up with it, it can really make an amazing combination, like you said, for humanity. Totally
yes.
appreciate that.
Sure. And Shrutika has explained beauty as the inner beauty. She said it without even probably realizing how much, what a big statement she made. That beauty about the height, the skin, the color, and the XYZ, which is a typical, like I was just talking to her earlier, impermanent forms, the physical forms, how much value should we give to these things? And the permanent forms that are within us, the goodness, the happy, the joyful, the bliss, those sorts of things that are within us, there is no awareness yet still. I'm sorry, I'm being extreme here. I'm sure there is some awareness, but that needs to be created. And really my next job as Origin Foundation, and with Shrutika's help, let's hope, will be to go to schools and obviously try and get these concepts in a module and try and get young children to understand. My God, the all that inner goodness, when it comes out, the society will benefit. The outer world will change the moment we change the inner world.
I'm sure you see a lot of that, especially being in this profession where actually you're treating so many women, and we have so much of orthodoxy even today, and while you're treating them, also I'm sure you witness that. But on the other hand, while we were talking about the father and daughter relationship, I could see that coming out, that you of course would want your daughter to excel, but when she decided to go for, you were mentioning that when she decided to go for this kind of sort of contest, you were first sort of taken a little bit aback, and You were trying to say something on those lines, so please go ahead, telling
Yeah.
us about both of it.
She knows that obviously this may not be an area of my real liking and interest. The only reason being, I believe one has a certain limit of time available to use in life. It's not like you can do everything. So if you want to choose certain things to do, then what would be your priorities? Otherwise, yes, you can do this also and that also and everything. But if her life is valuable, and so is, of course, so many more other valuable lives, then what should she be using this life for? Goodness of humanity, goodness of society, that would be the angle. So when she would say about, say, acting or Bollywood or things like that, yeah, I would say good. No, there's nothing wrong about it. But can we just focus on our first development of ourself, the maturity and other things, that the inner skills and talent? Because like you've been talking about her public speaking, I have noticed that right from the start. And every time we discussed about her being a doctor or something else, I've said to her, I honestly don't think that talent, that skill of yours would be fully utilized. So try to see, please, that don't just stick to that medical profession, because most of our family members are doctors. And that's one thing I tried to hammer, and she really saw it. Initially, there was a lot of reluctance. I could see she was almost kind of falling in line with that medical thing. But I said, look, be in touch with the medical profession. So her current degree is so beautiful, I tell you, health and medical sciences, public health. And I told her, look, Corona has told you clearly, COVID is telling us that doctors
Absolutely.
and the curative profession has a role, but the preventive, that is where we need a lot of people. So her public health degree with entrepreneurship, with international business kind of a combination, this is amazing. Australian medical and that education part is so fantastic. So I think she will be able to do a lot of work with that degree of hers.
You're absolutely right, because through COVID and creating awareness, the public awareness as well. We've done 100+ programs in the last year and reached more than 10 lakh people, or more actually. We've really lost the count of the number of people we have reached. But that is the kind of that's absolutely a degree which she's rightly pursuing. And Shrutika, of course, a little later we will want to talk about it also, what you're looking for your future. But rightly so, you've been really lucky that your parents have been actually exposing you to everything that's around and still trying to guide you to pursue medicine, and at the same time you've been able to do so many other things, I guess. And with the title which you yourself really worked for, that's just going to give you a better reach to make your point, and to put all your talent, knowledge, your aspirations forth to people, and make the difference when it comes to the healthcare, of course.
Can I
So
just make an addition there? Can I make an addition there?
sure, please go ahead.
And just one thing is that, just the last point really, Shrutika moved in from that stage of absorption and learning to a consolidation stage where now she is in control of her life. And at that time, the way you asked me, father-daughter relationship initially was a lot of kind of interference, I may say, or guidance, or trying to help her understand. Now that role has changed completely. I can see that she is now in control of herself. She's kind of independent. Now I wouldn't want to really say that. Now obviously she will be free on her own to take her calls, and I'll only be available when she asks for help. There will be no active interference. So learning goes on all the time. Henceforth, if she rings me and says, Papa, what do you think I should do in this case? Yes, the opinion will be available, but I now wouldn't want to tell her what to do.
Sure. On that note, I would bother you with just one last question. And I know that you've been also encouraging a lot of your women employees and women doctors out there to actually push themselves and do better. And so, what would you like to, give us some take-home messages, or what you could actually advise to these women who are aspiring out there?
Basically, I am the only man in the hospital, to be honest. Right now, all employees are women, and it's so amazing when we sit in the
Lucky
seminar
you is
room.
all I can say.
But it's just that I see the woman power every day, you see. And whatever origin is achieved, so many patients from worldwide, whatever treatment and fertility problems we've resolved are all handled by women, me being only a small part of the whole thing. So I must say this to women at large, that the world is there for you to now take lead. Men dominated society we have seen for a long time. I honestly don't think we've achieved what we should have achieved by being men dominated. I think the tide should change and women will need to come forward, but that will not be given to them. They will have to achieve it by that, like I say, believing in themselves, the mindfulness, developing themselves, and everything will come their way. And I think the world will be a much more beautiful place if women can take more lead, they can take more kind of control in the society. I think we will have a much more balanced and a better humanity for the future.
Great. Dr. Mane, it was just a pleasure to have you here talk about Shrutika. Unless something he can actually uh, be free from the show today. Would you like to say anything?
Is it for Shrutika? Your
You
comment.
Would you like to say anything before he leaves? Is what I was trying to ask you. Yeah.
Oh, uh, no, I think I understand where he was coming from when he said that, pageants and beauty pageants and the concept of beauty pageants was not entirely his area of interest or not something he would entirely support. But I think the minute he realized, or the minute he saw that the pageant that I was in was very driven by giving back to society, or it was given by what can you do for other women, I think that changed it. If it was just about looking beautiful in different costumes and attires, I don't think that would have really sailed the boat for us. I don't think it would have been the right one for me as well to be in something like that. But I think it was the purpose that matched, and that value. It was a huge circle of everything coming together, Raj, me, dad. I think all of our intentions were the same, is to give back. And I think because that has matched so beautifully, this is possible, so I think it all came together very well in the end. Did you lose me there, or do you still have me?
I looks like I had probably lost you guys for a second, but yeah, I mean I'm back. But thanks again, Dr. Mane, for connecting us and getting this program to happen in itself. And of course, we will have you on more of our shows on this channel when it comes to health as well, and
Yes,
and the
would be
spirituality
fantastic.
aspect, which you're so passionate about.
Yes, thank you very much for
Sure.
having me.
Uh,
That's great. Thank you.
Sure. So with that, I think, Shrutika, we would, of course, move on to really asking you a bit more about, uh, one, of course, you've gotten till here. You've done so much through your school years. You were passionate about dancing, and then, of course, you also anchored with the news channel. So, has winning really become a habit? Or was it that you really had to prepare more for this title specifically, especially because like we mentioned earlier that being brown and of course having to be slim, did you have to prepare anything specifically for it, or winning has just become a habit for us?
Oh gosh, no, 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 no. I would absolutely would not say that. Winning has not become a habit at all. I think after a very long time, I finally felt like the work that I had been doing has come to fruition. I think for a long time, I felt like I was doing things, but they weren't sort of, they weren't multiplying into something, or there was no outcome of what I was doing. So after a very long time, when I got the phone call from Miss India Australia, it finally felt like something added up. I don't know what it was. I think it was because I was doing so much. I think overall, when your intentions are pure and when your hard work is real, I think it does come to fruition at some point. uh, I would not by any means call it habitual, because when you there's an element of certain overconfidence, or undermining the value of an achievement when you think of winning as a habit. I would never ever want to believe that winning has become a habit, because I believe that would be a decline for me. If I start believing that in some way or the other, if I start thinking that, oh, I am good and I'm excellent and I'm going to be winning all the time, that might take away from who I am. It might be detrimental to me. So I
Right.
definitely don't think winning is a habit. I think I have learned so much, and very truly, I know today I have the crown, but very truly, if I didn't have the crown, I know I wouldn't be here talking to you, but I still would have been on the path to making it happen someday.
Right.
It
Right.
wouldn't have been today, and it wouldn't have been tomorrow. It may have been 5 years down the line, but I would have truly made sure that we are here discussing this at some point. So, obviously, the crown has fast tracked that for me. I have this opportunity, like you said,
Absolutely.
I have this reach now. But if it hadn't happened this time, I would have definitely, I would like to believe that without thinking of winning as a habit, I would have made it happen at some point.
So I'm glad you say that, and you know what? If it was just beauty and you were on our channel, it would be completely different from what it is right now. You know how much I believe in this fact, and I'm on the verge of also trying to construct these kind of pageants for more women. Of course, the highest titles are very difficult for everyone to reach, but if we lower the bar, and sort of more women can actually achieve all this and get the small or the big confidence out of it for their lives, and that has to go with beauty, brains, and bravery going together. I'm so glad you say that, and I'm so happy that you have the opportunity now to take the right things forward with this title. And having said that, yet women out there really have to understand, like you said, it's an amalgamation. It's a bright mix of things. It isn't something you are completely planning for, but of course you have to keep working hard towards, really. So now it's really going to be for you in terms of being way forward, right? So when you're just 20, and you've achieved so much, and so what is that you really want to take forward in life, when of course you complete your degree, but meanwhile, how do you plan to actually use this title in the right way, so that you can create more awareness in the right areas, and also work on things where you're able to give more?
Hmm. I think, I've spoken to now a few since the title happened, which was on the 31st. I've spoken to different people. I've tried to get a different perspective. I've got a new vision board up on the floor. Everything's, I'm trying to curate and think constantly as to what is it that I can do with this title? Where do I start? I'm constantly thinking, where do I start? Because the reach is huge. The responsibility of the title is huge. We have had so many beautiful, strong, intelligent Miss India Australias before me. We've been around since 2001, the pageant. So there have been beautiful women and strong and smart women that have gone on to achieve so much before me. So I do have big shoes to fill in. But without getting carried away in the pressure too much, I think um, when it comes to young women or young girls that are in schools, that are going through a huge combination of things. When you're in school, I remember I shifted schools so often, but the problems were the same, whether it was the UK or India or Australia. The kind of issues you face at school are always the same. I do believe somewhere I was lucky that I had a support system. I had the kind of confidence to push through school like I did. Um, but I do understand that at the same time, not everyone has the same schooling experience. I have seen so many different kinds of friends who look back at school and think, oh, maybe I shouldn't have thought about that too much, or maybe I shouldn't have gotten carried away in this idea of what's beautiful. And there are so many things going on when you're at school, hormonal changes or things around you, competition, academics, pressure. What are you going to do with your future? And you're so young at the same time. So I think in terms of moving forward, I want to speak to those girls. And I'm not sure how many we have, watching today. If you're watching today, I really want to appeal to those girls, because it's not about how you look or what you're doing, or who you think who's judging you. It's not about that. It's not even about Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn or any of that. It's just about you in the moment. If you sat with yourself for 5 minutes, how do you feel? Do you feel like you're beautiful? Do you feel like you're strong and smart? Do you recognize your talents and skills? Do you recognize what you're good at? And do you feel content in that moment? That's it. If you can achieve that kind of contentment with sitting with yourself for 5 minutes, I feel like you would have the energy and courage to actually face anything else. I don't know if when I was in school I could have sat with myself and said, Shrutika, you're enough. You don't need anything else. You don't need any validation. You don't need anyone to tell you that you're beautiful or whatever. I'm happy with the way I am. And I can take on whatever comes my way. I don't know if I could do that when I was that age. So I really want to appeal to those girls. I want to go and speak to them. I want to go and see what their ambitions are. What obstacles are they facing? Because with times changing, the obstacles that we're facing are changing as well. Internet has become such a huge part of our lives. Everything is driven by the internet. Everything is driven by social media influencers. You're constantly on Instagram watching thousands of other influencers do such amazing things. We spend so much time and energy doing that. So I really hope that they don't end up spending too much time watching my journey, but more start in getting inspired by that to find out what it is in them to really take that journey on for themselves.
Well, that takes a lot of maturity to say what you're saying, to not keep watching you, but actually, making something good for themselves. It's absolutely rightly said, and that's the reason why I keep saying I was so excited about having you on this program, so that women out there and young women out there understand that there is so much that they can do, and they have so much of potential in them, so much of talent out there. And this beauty with brain and bravery program, or rather this initiative has been there for about now 6 years, I guess, that I have been doing it. My whole idea behind it is to not let the excellent talent that's going wasted in women, and trying to influencing them in a small or big way, whichever way, even if I'm able to make a change in one or more out there, that's great enough. And we try to get as many women who can do this and who want to do this. So, just the fact that we keep doing it, the chain is really growing, and that way, we will be able to take this forward to more women, and make sure that they make a lot out of their lives. And on that note, I really want to get one more influential woman on the panel, and who's, of course, she's been a gynecologist, and of course she has graduated from the KM hospital, which is one of the coveted hospitals here in Mumbai. And then she has, after that, really globe trotted. She has been a gynac in UK, in India, and now of course based out of Australia. So it's such a pleasure to have Dr. Rajashree Mane here, and another pleasure, of course. I don't want to say, but we share a name, so it's absolute pleasure to have you here. And she's, of course, Shrutika's mom. So how do you feel being here? If you could unmute yourself.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rajashree, for inviting me. It's a really a good pleasure, feeling really, really nice to be on the show and listening to my daughter, and that's really wonderful. So thank you.
Yep. So Shrutika, she's been one pillar in your life, isn't it? Would you like to say and share, of course, your relationship, and how it has helped you to get up till here that you have had?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think it's been a wonderful journey to raise Shrutika. I think she was a different child. She was not kind of a regular child. I think she was completely a different child, and it's been a pleasure to raise her. Think Shrutika, I feel is she always wanted to be ahead of her time, ahead of her age. I mean, I still remember when she was very young, she just learned to stand on her feet. She wanted to run. So she was that kind of a girl who always wanted to explore the world. At a very young age, she wanted to see what's happening in the world, what is good, what is bad, how people become successful. So she was very kind of eager to know more about the people around her, more about the world around her. And she wanted to create her own path, her own way of living. She had her own ideas. I mean, as a parent, it's always scary when child is very adamant on what they want to do, because you always want to protect your child. And especially Shrutika had everything. She was intelligent, she was smart, she was good at dancing, she was good at public speaking. So of course, as a mother, I always wanted to make sure that she does the right things. But she chose her own way of doing things, which now I think, looking back, I feel I'm really proud. I trusted her vision, and I trusted that she really could achieve what she was thinking and what she was dreaming of. So I think up to some extent, it's parents' responsibility to let your kids fly. And then I just said to her that, Shrutika, do what you think is right. I'm always there for you. If you fall, I'm there to catch you. But yeah, I did allow her. But of course, it does take a lot of courage as a parent to let the child do what they want to do. Because we are brought up in a society where we want to be, very protective, and everybody in the family, all my nieces, nephews are doctors. And so, in Shrutika, of course, obviously, very easily she could do that as well. But she wanted to pursue her dreams. And yeah, I did support her. But yeah, as I said to her now that, I'm always there for her.
Well, that's good to know, because as a parent, I can also associate with completely with that. That you're always trying to protect them, but at the same time want them to sort of do whatever they want,
Yeah.
and I'm sure it must have been such an awesome motherhood journey up until now for you, because you've been actually helping so many women out there to become a mother. And so was it really a lot of uh, discipline, or was it a mix of love, discipline, of course, teaching her how to win, and also learn about how to overcome challenges when you actually in the small things that we mothers do, is we are trying to teach them all this. If you'd like to share anything more.
Mhm. No, Rajashree, to be honest, I never had to teach her anything. I just feel that really, I mean, this
Wow.
is, she's been, I think I always say to her that she's born with the confidence. She's born with the talent. She learned it herself because, we moved around quite a lot, born UK, India, Australia, the circumstances, they made her mature. I don't know. I don't think particularly I did anything special for her. She has been a wonderful child. She's very hardworking, very intelligent, and I just feel it was very easy to just see her growing. Really, I personally think, I don't know, maybe of course I did support her. I was always conscious of, I've always supported her, what she wants to do, telling her about the good and bad, telling her about the pros and cons of the path she is choosing. But I don't think she had quite a lot within her, and I don't want to take that credit from her, to be honest. I think that credit entirely goes to her.
Well, Dr. Rajshri, that takes away a lot of, this anxiety of women or mothers like us who are, really worried about their daughters, especially. Of course,
Yeah.
they are worried about their sons, but more about daughters as to what they're going to do, if they'll do it right. And, we are
Mm.
all the time after them in the small and big things. And instead, it's great to know that you've let her do what you want to. And I'm sure, Shrutika, what's your input on that? where did the confidence come from? Were you born with it? What did happen? What happened really?
I don't know. I think Mama says that I was.
Because you'll see a lot of Singhania moms and kids, and the way we all are after our kids to study, to do this, to do that.
Yeah.
You have to be an all-rounder, and there's lots that going on already.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if, I mean, um, if I was born with that confidence. I don't know. I don't know about that. But I really do feel that it was through the experiences that I was enduring as I was growing up. Whether it was taking up public speaking or Kathak or meeting new people, I think it all tied back to the fact that I liked being at the front. There was something about that energy that I enjoyed doing. I enjoyed being able to lead a team and take people with me. I enjoyed the fact that people were trusting me with that responsibility. And that means that somewhere I was doing something right. Somewhere maybe I was being able to deliver to people's expectations. And those little things, I think, over time build your confidence. Not to say that I didn't have setbacks. I think when I was in year 11 and 12, I was 15 kilos plus. I was definitely, yeah, I was about 15 to 16 kilos plus from what I am now. And that somewhere at that time, the kind of comments I was getting, they did hurt me. And it takes literally just that to shatter your confidence. I think in those few months of that year, I felt I didn't feel beautiful, or I didn't feel confident. So I know you see me as confident or born with confidence, but I had my setbacks. I think in that year, it took a while after that for me to build my confidence back. I don't think it was entirely until I came to Adelaide and started living by myself and exploring life again that I really built that confidence back. So I think confidence is an idea that is it takes years to build, but it takes that much to shatter it. So I've been through the curves of it. I do think I've come out on the greener side of the grass, but I don't know. It's there, and sometimes it's gone. But yeah, I think that's life.
Well, at such an age that you've already at such a young age you've already gained so much of so much that's going on your side, and the purpose that you're working on. I'm sure that will soon supersede the just the confidence. And once that really and we can see that it's already happening with you. Once that sort of goes ahead, then you become unstoppable. Doesn't matter who thinks about how much of weight, how many kilos you're more, or what you're thinking and what you're talking, but it's really about what outcome you are bringing out there for people. So I guess that's how it is. But going back to Dr. Rajashree, if you would like to give some advice to the mothers out there, because of course, because you've been a gynecologist who's really worked in different continents, and you've seen so many of your patients, and at the same time you've been a mother too, of course. And then the way you have actually brought have what should women hear, of course, those who are doing professionally well, of course, and also who should do professionally well. So I want you to give them a personal and professional advice. Any piece of advice from you will be great to know.
Yeah. So Rajashree, as you know that I was brought up in India, then we went to UK, then I'm in Australia. So I have seen both world very closely. When I went back to India, the one thing which really struck me is the empowerment doesn't necessarily mean freedom for women. Doesn't necessarily mean that we need to copy the Western culture. And that is, I could see a lot happening in India, especially the young girls, like, with Shrutika's age. I could see them, having habits like smoking, drinking, drugs are coming up. So that doesn't mean that copying the Western culture doesn't mean women empowerment. That's the wrong idea. So I think the best thing is, to have the good combination of, you have to value your Indian culture. And India. So you need to combine the good things in Indian culture, and also you have to take the good things from the Western culture. There are bad things in the Western culture which we don't have to copy. And that's the combination of good from Indian culture and good from a Western culture makes a perfect empowering woman like Shrutika. You know, Shrutika is, for that matter, I'm very proud, not just because she's my daughter, but she has Indian culture imbibed in her. At the same time, she fits very well into the Western culture as well. So I want that concept to develop in India. That, you know, young girls especially, doesn't necessarily mean that freedom and copying the Western people what they do is empowerment. We need to be very sensible. We need to keep our culture plus take the good things from Western culture and make a perfect society.
That's a great message, and you rightly said, having worked globally actually makes you more sensitive towards all these things, and we've seen them, so we know that we have to actually collect the good from all these cultures that we can, and it's a great piece of advice, and it was really good to have you on the show. Because of Shrutika, we were able to bring you on the show. So we wish you good luck, and we hope to see you on the channel again.
Sure. Thank you so much,
Sure,
Rajashree.
sure. And I think with that, I think Shrutika, of course, we have had such a great discussion around in terms of beauty, brains, bravery. But the courage aspect also we spoke about with the confidence, and also spoke about your entire journey from childhood to up until here. Now really a couple of questions more when it comes to the future, like your father said, that he was a little bit worried when you said you want to be into Bollywood, and your mom, of course, supported you in whatever you did, but of course still wanted you to get into healthcare, and of course, because we come from those kind of families where education, and of course when we are in healthcare, we obviously want to do more in that area. But having said that, when it comes to future, uh, what is that would you like to choose, so that you can make the maximum difference? What have you thought, as you're completely self-made, despite all that you've had very easily in your life?
Um, I don't know. I think when it comes to the future, I wouldn't be able to. I don't think I would be able to give you one certain answer. Just the other day, I was thinking that I'm so grateful and blessed to be able to experience all the things that I have on my plate at this point in time. I want to plan the next 6 months. I want to plan the next 6 years of my life. And the way I had planned it was academics. I had planned to do my honors, masters in the UK, startup, and then I was planning on doing my own startup, moving to the US for my masters. So I had a whole career chalked out, a whole 10-year career plan chalked out for myself. Um, Obviously, when something like this has come my way, it's given me that extra little courage, you could say, to not blindly follow a plan that I've put down on paper. It's That's just the way things will happen. Things will change, things will pop up, certain achievements will change the way you look at life. I think with Miss India Australia, there's Miss India Worldwide coming up in October. That's going to be held in Mumbai, which will be the next steps. This is by no means the end of the journey. This journey has come to me in a way at a time where I really feel like I'm shaping the next few years of my life. These are the building blocks of my life, and the decisions I take today will really shape the way my future looks. With something like Miss India Worldwide in the bag, which not entirely in the bag, but with that coming up, I do want to focus on this. I have this. It's been at the back of my mind for so long, which is why it's probably transpired into what it is today. And I want to respect that flow of things that are happening. I just want to enjoy things that are coming up. Even with my acting training, it's going on very beautifully. I enjoy auditioning. I enjoy my Kathak. I enjoy grooming and training with Raj Suri for Miss India Worldwide. It truly gives me so much joy. And I want to be able to work with my time in a way where I'm able to embrace all of the things happening with me. If you asked me exactly which way I would go in the future, I don't think I have an answer. But for now, when I even talking to you today on Truwellth, or doing the other interviews that I've been doing, I love doing this, and I would want to do absolutely anything to be able to do this for my entire life. So um, no matter what, I think being able to work for society, being able to stay true to my intentions of why I'm here is very important to me. So whether I go down the academic pathway or the acting pathway, I think one thing that will stay true for me is to work for society and to make sure that the intentions that I have are delivered the right way. So I'm definitely working towards my social impact. Everything's sort of happening at the same time for me, so I think time will tell what happens.
So yeah, of course, and the internet and especially these kind of talks and platforms are really something which you should utilize to your fullest. And we really hope that the torch that you're carrying, that you don't have to be slim and tall and beautiful, and you've got to be most of it. But it's not just that. Taking the torch of the amalgamation of the entire talent that we carry. I'm happy that I was able to bring that up on our show, and we'd be happy to take any of your future endeavors forward with our platform, because that's exactly what we intend to do. It's not something that we haven't we there isn't a ultimate goal where we are trying to reach, but it's really a journey to be taken with so many women, so that and believe it or not, in the last whole year, or rather last 6 8 months that I've started actively taking this forward, so many women have come together. And every time we have a different program, there's so much that we realize that has to be done, and we are doing it together. So so much to be done, and anything that we could actually help you in taking this, uh, of course, not just taking the torch forward, but also winning it there. Winning will of course not mean just winning, but making that difference understood, the difference in thinking understood, that you are actually trying to propagate. Having said that, I want to quickly share a few remarks that have come. Of course, your guru Sarita Kalele has she's given you loads of blessings. Then there is, of course, Seema Hardikar, who has said it's excellent. Also, Amitabh Nadkarni is saying he's very proud of you, and yeah, such great words from your gurus and people who love you is amazing to know. And the program has already, I think, reached beyond say around 3,000 people already. So I am hoping that it'll reach more thousands, and your thoughts are propagated to all of those young women, especially out there, to take things forward. So really, I want to wish you all the very best, and how proud we are of you, and we would like you to take things forward. We're very happy that uh, great people like Raj Suri are taking it so much seriously, and they are taking so much of effort to helping you groom and present yourself, and just such great parents that you have also doing such great work. uh, all of you have been such awesome people to be on our show today, that I had a great time talking to you. But while we really end the program, I would want you to give some piece of takeaways that people on our channel, of course, could take home, and actually not just take them home, but really make use of it for themselves and for their children as well. So we all can have a brighter future, really.
Hmm. Again, like you said, I am 20 years old. So when I say something, I can only say what I have seen in my 20 years
Yes,
of life.
yes.
Out of which, let's not count the first 5 years of my life. So really, from what I have experienced, I feel coming to Adelaide, living by myself, was scary. At several instances, I thought of going back home. At several instances, I thought, what am I going to do here in a city where I know absolutely nobody? But I think the best thing that Adelaide did for me was it gave me time to recognize who I am. So I would genuinely, I know we live in settings where we are with families. Anybody watching the show today, Beauty, Brains, and Bravery. I think all of it comes down in you. So everything is there in you. Don't go looking for it in other people or in validations or on Instagram or anywhere else. Take 5 minutes with yourself in your room. Sit down. I literally today at sunset, I sat down with myself and I said, I have an interview coming up. How do I feel about that? What is it that I want to say? What message do I want to convey? Am I doing that the right way? And will I take it forward? I don't want to, end up just having a chat today and then forgetting about it tomorrow morning. So I sat down with myself and I recognized those things within me. So I know we live with families, we have cousins, we have siblings and mom and dad in the house, and with everything going on, if you can just find 5 minutes to sit with yourself and talk to yourself about how you're feeling, what is it that you're doing today, where are you planning on going, I think those conversations with yourself are extremely important. You'll find beauty, brains, and bravery all in that time with yourself because it's in you.
Well, I am just happy and I hope I did justice to all that you have achieved. And I hope this program really tells people out there who are proud of you to understand what they are really proud of in you. It's not just a pageant that you've won, but what an interview you've given us. I mean, at 20, you were able to give us these insights. And while you say that, it's only 15 years really that I've essentially done something in my life. But having said that, that's just great, and we can see why you won the title, and why you're just going to do awesomely great in your life, and why your mother said that you're born this way, you're born talented. So it all attributes to, of course, our parents and our upbringings, our school, our teachers, our mentors. So a lot has come your way, but a lot is also because you took the courage and you took the efforts to get here. So that's what we're really proud of, and I am proud of interviewing you today out here. And I'm sure we're going to do more work together. I'm just going to say a bye to you on this show, and we will of course do a lot of work in this direction, which is a lot positive and a lot giving to. It's not even giving back; it's just giving to the society and trying to make the difference. Having said that, I will end this show on this point, and I would like to thank the viewers for coming down and encouraging us. They have always been wonderful at encouraging the programs that we have been doing for so long. And I also want to thank the RSG Energia team. I'm just going to play a small promo of their advertisement. They have been actually taking this to different platforms, different groups, and lots of endless back-end efforts that they take in arranging technical stuff for these programs as well. So I'll end on that note. And Shrutika, we wish you all the very best in your journey. And I already think you're going to take the next titles, and
Oh
we
gosh.
all will be doing as much that we can for you, so that that comes your way, just so that you can actually take your endeavors forward, which are which are so great, really.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It was such a pleasure. Such a pleasure.
Thank you. So I'd like to thank the RG Energy team now. I'm just going to play their comment here.